before I start this segment, I forgot about Dr. Lillian Glass. I guess she didn't listen to the 911 call either about who threatened who.
Got a lady at 1804 Chestnut who wants to file a report.
Damn it. Hey. Oh, Chestnut.
Yeah, it's Billy Dunn.
He keeps on texting me, and I've texted back just to try to calm him down a little.
He's threatening to kill her.
Oh, God. He's been going all day.
I don't remember it, but I'm not going to deny it. I mean, we can say ugly things to each other. He's telling me that he's going to kill me.
Yeah, it hurts. It does. I love her with all my heart.
If he did hurt my daughter, I would be disgusted by that and would never speak to him again and hope he gets what he deserves. Anybody that hurt my daughter.
Billy, you have a 16-year-old son. What time did he leave the house the night before?
I thought he left around, he says he left around 9 o'clock and Hailey was in his room playing his Xbox. I thought he left a little earlier.
Now, what time did you see her last the night before?
I saw her about 10 or 11 o'clock in her bedroom.
Was she still playing games?
No, she was watching TV, laid in bed.
Now, the next morning, you checked in on her before you left, and you believe you saw her lying in her bed around 6 a.m., right?
Right.
We are taking your call live. For those of you just joining us, we have just gotten a hold of 911 calls. They were back from Valentine's Day, where, according to police affidavits, the live-in boyfriend, Sean Atkins, threatens to kill Billy Dunn and her daughter, Hailey. Tonight, we also know an earring that little Hailey was apparently wearing all the time, wearing at the time she went missing, found on the floor of her father's home. But remember, the father, Clint Dunn, and his girlfriend say she wasn't there that day. Also, tonight we learn the 16-year-old boy has been taken out of the family home and put into state custody. Back to Billy Dunn, this is Hailey's mother. I noticed in that 911 call you say Sean Atkins, it's a little MHMR. Is that a mental health term?
I was calling him retarded.
Can you tell me about that earring, Billy Dunn? The earring you think she was wearing?
It was a red hoop earring.
I want to go to Priscilla Luong with KTAB. Priscilla, do you believe, based on your knowledge of the case, that police are keeping surveillance on the live-in boyfriend?
Well, Nancy, as far as surveillance, I would not be able to tell you because they have not confirmed whether there is surveillance cameras around his house, but I'm told that they have officers patrolling the area, keeping a really close watch on Sean Atkins.
I want to go back to Billy Dunn. Billy, I can see that you are angry or upset. You're on the verge of tears. Look, we want to find Hailey. We want to find who's responsible for her missing. And everything.
We need to be looking for a live Hailey.
I agree. Of course you do. That's what everyone's hope is. I know you don't want to hear these 911 calls that happened in the past. I know you don't want to think about all this, but every single thing matters. Every little detail. I know that you're there with Mark Class. Mark, advise her why everything, every detail is important.
Well, you know, we know that, and she knows that, but, you know, there's a mother here that's out of her mind looking for her daughter, and there are guests on your show that are saying that she's in denial. This woman isn't in denial. This woman is trying to find her daughter. There are plenty of scenarios that are possible in this case besides Sean Atkins. She seems to have still a decent feeling about this guy, and I would counsel everybody not to rush to judgment too soon. You know, Nancy, she lives right off of Highway 20. It would be very easy for somebody to take the off-ramp, take this little girl, and then be driving off down the road. There are numerous things that could happen. You know, we have search teams out here looking for her now. And I think the focus has to be on finding a live little girl. There are plenty of avenues to investigate, but this is the most hopeful one, and this is the one that I think needs to be pursued with vigor.
You know what, Mark Class? You're right. You are absolutely right. Police have come right out and said we have more than one suspect. As you and I discussed last night, same time, same place. This is not, I don't want tunnel vision on the live-in. He's just given us so many red flags, Mark Class, so many, that you can't help but look at him, as police are doing, as a suspect. But you know what, Mark? My mind is open. I don't want to ruin the case by tunnel vision. What other theories would you suggest?
Well, first of all, you know, I have to agree about Sean Atkins. Every day something else dribbles out that makes him look worse. Today that happens to be the 911 calls. But I think the whole possibility of somebody pulling in off the road and taking off with this girl is a very real possibility. And I'll tell you what I wish. I wish that America's truckers had some way of getting this information and being able to communicate it with each other via their CB radios, because you know what, Nancy? There's 2.5 million long-haul truckers on our highways every day. They could be a great first responder force. There are people in this town, there's registered sex offenders in this town that could be hiding out this little girl. She could even have amnesia and be wandering around, I guess, in a worst-case scenario. But, you know, the whole idea that people are saying that she's in denial. People are saying that maybe she was alive at this point in time. Well, maybe she is alive. Maybe she's waiting for us to find her. And that's why we're here right now. That's why you're here right now. And I would hope that we could sort of redirect some of that focus and try to look for this living, little, beautiful teenager.
Well put, Mark Class. Let's go out to the lines to Sean in California. Hi, Sean.
Hi, Nancy. I have two questions.
Okay.
My first question is, early on, we know that Hailey spoke to Clint's mom and mentioned that Sean Atkins made her uncomfortable being outside of the door at night. And without being judgmental to Billy, and Billy, you're in my prayers all the time, I want to know, did you notice any changes in your little girl? Was there change in her behavior? Was there change in her sleep patterns? Because usually if a child will speak out to an adult and say, you know what, I'm uncomfortable, there's something going on. And I just want to know, was there any changes in Hailey that could help all of those around you to try to put all the pieces together as to what may have been going on when she disappeared?
What about it, Billy Dunn? Any change at all in her behavior that you noticed?
No. Like I said in the beginning, 3 years ago, she was very upset. Her dad and I broke up, but I don't think Hailey feared Sean in the least, and she wouldn't have been afraid to come to me. She knows that she was number one. Her and David are number one, and I don't think she would have been afraid to come to me. And she didn't sleep in her room until about a week ago. She slept in the living room on the couch. I think Clint's mom is just upset. She wants someone to blame also, and that's understandable, but I really believe Hailey would have come to me or her father.
Billy,
and I don't think she was afraid of Sean.
Why was your son David taken into state custody?
He wasn't taken into state custody. From my understanding, it's normal for CPS to come in and interview you, which they did. I placed David at my brother's house. That's best for him. I have people driving by hollering awful things, but there was no courts involved. He's not in state custody. He's at my brother's house and here every day.
you're saying that we need a welfare check on her because she's suicidal?
That's from what we understand.
Wouldn't kill myself, for sure. I have 2 children to take care of, and I'm really their only caregiver. I'm the one who buys their food, their clothes, and they need me. I'm their mother.
Well, that's weird because the newspaper, the website had an article that Children and Family Services took David out of the house. So now we have the other side of the story that Billy sent her son to her brother's. So somewhere in there will be the truth. We're not sure which one because we get conflicting stories on this case hourly.